You could ask anybody that was here. That was quite an offensive show for Louisville and made it very difficult. Then the summaries of the first two games. Of course, Melton was the star in game one, 4-2, the final score, and then that shutout yesterday. And we talked about the pitching, but what about Rebecca Chung? She was outstanding too.
Rebecca Chung going 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs, now leading the Cardinals with third on the team actually with 19 RBIs, which is crazy to think she's third on the team with that stat.
And of course, Danielle Watson was the starting pitcher in game one and got that win as well. And then you see the excitement as the Cuse is not ready to only try to get a win. They're ready to go home.
This is important for them because they are now 0-2 in the ACC. They want this win, and their coach is saying, look, I need energy from you girls. If I don't get anything else, I want to see lots of energy.
You saw the starting lineup, and this is one change, moving Bryce Holmgren up to the top of the order.
Gabby Teran was our leadoff for Syracuse the last 2 games, and so Coach Depking, I saw some change that she wanted to make, and Bryce Holmgren must, have really impressed her to now take over that leadoff spot.
She's batting .310 on the season. Here's the 1-2 pitch and just missed the outside corner. So that'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. She has 7 runs batted in, 1 double, 1 home run, 18 hits, and 58 at bats. And you saw the on base percentage. There's a swing and a miss. Went after the high heater, and that's the first strikeout, obviously, in the game for Watson.
That's definitely one of Danielle Watson's strengths. She's good at varying the heights of her pitches. She's really able to move the ball around in that circle. Plus, she's a great fielder, which helps out her defense. That was the Achilles heel of Louisville, even though they came up and won on Friday. They had 5 errors on the day.
Yeah, that was really something that more often than not, you're not going to come away with a win. You commit that many errors. And you saw some of the things that everybody discussed about Watson, and she sticks to those. That's why she's been successful as Teran comes to the plate. That went up a little bit high. Gabby moved down in the order, as my partner mentioned. She's the sophomore from Atlanta, batting .262 on the year. She has 17 hits on the season. Righty against righty. It's popped up in foul ground and hits the backstop screen.
Nice battle there by Teran to foul off that off-speed pitch coming off Watson's hand.
Of course, we talked about these 2 programs and the new coaches, both in their first years.
Got a good look there at Shannon Depking.
Former All-American at the University of Tennessee.
Catcher for Golden Arm, I guess $1 Million Arm, pardon me, Monica Abbott, part of that World Series runner-up team of '07 at Tennessee.
And you see the strikeout. Watson really had that one popping. Looked like that rise ball looked like immediately it was in the strike zone. Then by the time the batter swung, it was out of it. That's what you want for the K. Here's Hansen. Alicia looks at a pitch down low. Hansen batting .290, knocked in 10, has 2 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run on the season. 2 out and nobody on here in the top of the first. Breaking ball just did this. The final and the 3rd game of this 3-game set. As ACC weekend action is underway, and here we are in week 1 with everyone will be watching what happened today in the series. This one popped up and it drops on the infield. There were 3 players there. Wasn't that high in the air, Suzanne, but
big miscommunication there by the infield. That is Caitlin Ferguson's ball all day long. If you are a center infielder, you need to be calling off your third baseman and your pitcher, who has to move backward to try and make that play. That should have been Caitlin Ferguson's ball, and that's an error for the Cards.
And Watson comes to the plate, and now will face Caceres Mayer. That's a check swing foul. So that was kind of in No players land, but as you said, Suzanne, somebody's got to take charge. There you see the numbers on Caceres Mayer. Orange, California grad. Runner goes. Here's the throw. Goes into center field. Now the runner on the way to third. And that throws offline. And now the runner on the way to the plate. And safe at the plate. So how about that play by Hansen? She breaks to steal second. And then the next thing you know, she scores the first run in the game.
Great base running there by Alicia Hansen to know where that ball is at all times. She sees that the ball is off. When it comes out of Chung's hand, it bounces over Ferguson's glove. Funky comes up, gunning, but again, missed throws to Sid Melton at third. That was 2 throwing errors there by Louisville.
Yeah, it was, and then is this one fouled back to the screen for the 1-ball 2-strike count. I was watching on the replay, and she did that on her own, which I guess it happened so quickly. The coach was trying to turn around and see where the ball was, and she didn't hesitate. Had she probably would have been out at the plate. But that's great base running.
Well, and Alicia Hansen leads the Syracuse team with stolen bases. Now she's 9 for 11 now with those 2 bases stolen. So yeah, she's padding her stats. She is not one that you want on the base path if you are the Louisville Cardinals.
Give Syracuse credit. I mean, they haven't been able to really dominate Louisville's pitching. There's a strikeout to end the inning, but because of the base running, the Cuse have a run as Louisville coming to the plate when we come back. Well, we saw this young lady, Alexa Romero. We saw her in the first game of the series, and she pitched really well. Lost the game, unfortunately, but she pretty much did her job.
She did a great job on Friday. She did pitch 121 balls with an injured finger, so we'll see how well she's recovered today. But looking at her stats, I mean, she's pitched 42 innings and struck out 52, 8 of those coming from Friday's game.
That's amazing.
So the Cards have got to get hot bats if they want to win this game.
And this is a veteran pitcher, too. You look at her records over the years, pretty impressive when you are 4th in career strikeouts, 8th in career wins, 8th in career shutouts in 3 years you're playing now as a junior. I've had some good pitchers, so she is really at the top of the list for this season and has a 1-run lead as she goes to the circle for the first time.
That's really going to help her going into the circle with some confidence, saying, okay, my offense showed up today. I'm going to bring the heat.
And she can do it. That pitch just missed inside. Of course, Louisville's lineup has plenty of left-handed batters, including that young lady, Celine Funky, who the beat goes on for her now at 4:07. Two balls and no strikes to count. Romero. She is a hard-working, strike-throwing machine and has been over the years.
You know, Don, I always talk about number 33, Celine Funky, being the Energizer Bunny and a real vocal leader for this Louisville Cardinals. Well, on the flip side of that, Alexa Romero plays that role for Syracuse. You know, yesterday we were watching the game, and on the sidelines, she's the one dancing and trying to get, you know, her teammates up and, you know, energized and that kind of thing. She's a very vocal leader, and she's very emotional, so you know exactly what's going on in her head.
Yep. And she's going to be emotional by delivering that free pass. You can see the disgust on her face.
You can see the grimace on her face, and she kind of bumped her chest a little bit to her catcher, saying, my bad.
Yep.
I'm going to go after Sid Melton now.
There's a good look at Sydney, the redshirt senior out of Columbus, Ohio. Louisville down 1-0 here in the bottom of the first, with a base runner at first in Funky, and Funky goes on the first pitch to throw. Not nearly in time. As Funky kind of rolled over the second base
she
bag.
Sure did.
Little topsy-turvy down there.
Celine now 10 for 13 on stolen bases.
And now she's in scoring position and a little dirty already.
She always seems to be covered
Yes, she
in
does.
brick dust head to toe.
Running up on this pitch, and Sydney takes a strike. 1-1 the count. To set at third, Casales Mayer at second. You got at short, Tehran at second. Acevedo at first, Martin, Hansen, and Holmgren in the outfield. Here's the runner going to third, and another stolen base for Celine Funky.
Talk about aggressive base running. Again, Celine Funky and Sid Melton both always have the green light. I know I talk about that all the time, but those two are able to be a huge threat on the base path once they get to first base.
So Melton back in, and here's the 2-1 pitch with a runner at third, and she wanted that.
You can see Romero frustrated, not getting the calls that she thought she was going to get there.
She thought she had the corner, didn't she?
And that is her signature pitch. I mean, we saw it time after time after time this past Friday from her. You'll see it on this inside corner to Sid Melton.
This one slap foul, protecting the plate was Melton that time.
Switching it up there. She actually went outside as I was talking about her inside pitch, but to a righty, she loves to throw that outside corner.
There's Holly April, the first-year Louisville coach. Followed the great Sandy Pearsall after retirement, came over from Pitt. This one chopped foul, and I think I might have hit her, and she's going to be out because it hit her in fair territory. We saw that yesterday.
Yep.
The ball is batted and stays in fair territory. You can see she's upset again, and it hits you in fair play. You're out. That's what
Definitely
happened.
something that slappers have to be aware of. If they miss, the goal of a slapper is to hit that ball, to hit that top third to top half of the ball. So you're chunking down on the ball, and essentially you want it to bounce over that left-hand side, 5-6 spot. And so Sid Melton, she mishit the ball, but she mishit it to the point where she hit the literal top part of the ball, sent it down into the ground, and because of the way you're having to turn as a slapper, she just ran right into the ball, didn't get enough behind it.
Well, the discussion in the circle, it may be as much what to do now with one out and runner at first. Maybe say, hey, watch the squeeze. A lot of different options here. Of course, you have to, anytime, as you mentioned, when Funky's on base, infield is in, and Megan Hensley will come to the plate.
Yeah, you can see both the middle infielders inside that base path.
Ball low.
Ready to field that ball and gun it home if need be.
Hensley batting .338. 5 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs, and 20 runs driven in. A chance here to tie the game in the first. That one way outside.
Good snag there by Michalak.
Really?
If that had tipped off her glove like I thought it was going to, watching after the release, Funky was gone.
Yeah, that's the small things that can make the difference. Now the 2-0, perfectly down the middle of the plate for a taken strike.
Yeah, the Cards aren't going to see many of those right down the middle of the plate. Romero really does a great job of hitting those corner spots on either side of the plate. Again, she hammers mostly on that outside corner, but she is able to hit that inside corner as well.
That went up a little bit high, 3-1. Of course, Alexa knows better than anybody the reason there's a runner at third base. It's because she walked that runner, or walked that batter at the time. So the senior out of Ashland now with the advantage in the 3-1 count. And that's a call strike as that one breaks across the plate. Chris DeHanuka behind the plate. Scott Mayer and Tommy Meyer on the base paths today. Our umpire crew. Swing and a miss. That is a huge strikeout. And look at the emotion from Romero as you mentioned that. You'll see it on her face. That's a big strikeout right there. 2 down now.
Definitely clutch strikeout there for Romero. Again, Romero is not a pitcher that Louisville wants to give any confidence to because she is able to throw with such velocity and able to hit the corners.
Well, can you imagine having to be behind that dish? She has such good pitches. Caitlin knows that. Ferguson, who steps in. But it's not an easy task. She is definitely in control when that ball's in her hands. 2 out, a runner at third.
That right there is her signature pitch.
Yep. Funky walked, stole second, stole third. The Cuse scored a run in the top of the inning without the benefit of anything other than one hit, but it was a timely one, and now it's 3-0, the count on Ferguson. Well, we've got 2 people throwing down in the Syracuse bullpen, and of course some of them may just be doing some work, you know, that they normally would, but final game of the series, anything goes. There's a taken strike on the 3-0. There's a good look at the Versailles, Kentucky native.
You know, Caitlin struck out twice against Romero on Friday, so she really needs to get up there and make some serious adjustments when it comes to Romero's pitching style.
Yeah. She's coming back now on a 3-2 count, just challenged with the fastball right there, did Romero. Syracuse 8-16, 0-2 in the league. Louisville 19-7 and 2-0, and now won 13 of their last 14 games. And there's a punch out by Romero, and Louisville leaves a runner at third. 1-0 Syracuse. That's who's due up. There you see our weather conditions as we're at 45 degrees and cloudy and windy, as you can see from one of the Cardinal flags hanging high above. And yeah, happy St. Patty's Day to you.
That.
And we're glad you joined us in the ACC, particularly here at Ulmer Stadium, a part of Cardinal Park on the University of Louisville campus.
A little bit different 45-degree weather today than it was yesterday. We actually had some sunshine.
No question. And
solidly struck ball there by Macholik.
On the first pitch, and she picks up the second hit, goes right after it, and slaps it right back up the middle, as you see. So the Syracuse catcher starts things, and now Dossett will be coming to the plate. We probably will have a runner over at first, because I would imagine your catcher's busy enough and doesn't need to be running the bases.
Taylor Lane.
There you see her over pinch running for the Cuse. Syracuse will be going home. They'll have a chance to play at home in conference play. Of course, they played a game against Kentucky earlier in this past week. This one inside. I thought it hit her, but it didn't, and it got away and goes back to the screen. So just like that, Lane moves down in scoring position to second.
Boy, Dossett really looked like she did make contact with that ball. The way she hopped, it looked like it ricocheted off her bat onto her foot, the way she kind of hopped up.
Evidently not. It's a ball and no strikes. Nobody out. Now the potential second run down at second base as this one's fouled out of play. Here's the earlier play. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, she just hopped funny out of the way there. Yeah. You know, that's one thing that Danielle Watson, while she is 8th in the ACC with 69 strikeouts. Actually, it's 72 now after the first inning. I'll save you, Don.
Thank you.
That was her 13th wild pitch on the season. She is first in the ACC with that. So control and consistency can be the Achilles heel here for Danielle Watson. She's got to be very careful with runners on the base path.
No question. That's a list you want to move down, because we saw in the first inning, you know, Syracuse gets only one hit, but they manufactured it because they got a runner on base, stole 2 bases, had 2 errors on 1 play. And they, I think, wanted to say, hey, we're going to be the aggressor from the beginning. And so far, there's a big strikeout there.
Nice high and inside pitch there for Danielle Watson.
That was tough to hit. Watch this one.
You can see it
Wow.
just jammed her. Kept rising. Great pitch there by Danielle Watson.
There you see the determination and poise from the right-hander in the circle now with one out. That one down in the dirt. Lane down at second base. Louisville trying to close out and sweep this series before they have to go to Notre Dame next weekend. There you see Tony Martin's particulars. A good bunt to the right side, but fortunately it took that last hop and foul ground.
Louisville got lucky there.
Yeah.
I thought that ball was going to stay right on the line, and if that were the case, I think Tony Martin was there.
Yeah, you got about a 50-50 chance. And that was right on the line, whether it was going to be in or out. So 1 ball and 1 strike to count, and here comes Watson to the plate. Swing and a miss.
Good agility there by Rebecca Chung to get up and around Tony Martin, who has the right to stay where she is in the box. Rebecca Chung has to work around her in order to make that throw.
That's right. Good point. There's a swing and a miss there, and another punch out by Watson. As Martin goes down, that's out number 2. Here it is. Oof, just blown them by today.
Looks like the inside and rise balls are really working for Danielle Watson today.
Now she's ready to go to work to Acevedo. Alex is the sophomore out of Orange Park, Florida. Batting average now under 200 at 196. Sophomore. Pitch. Just did miss the outside part of the plate. Chung with that long hold of the ball in position.
She does a great job framing the ball where she needs to, and she's actually very agile. You know, the first couple of games we saw both her and Madison Cousineau split most games. But this series, Chung has started all 3 games. So, with her bat as well as her agility behind the plate, I think she's secured her spot here as the starting catcher.
Yeah, as we mentioned, she's well beyond her years of being a freshman and handling the game behind the dish. Strike on the inside corner and a throw down to third. So that'll be the out to win the inning. So we're in the middle of the second. It remains Syracuse 1, Louisville nothing. We'd always like to remind you to check out ESPNW.com. First timers going to the women's basketball tournament. Towson and Bethune-Cookman. And Iowa's Megan Gustafsson, and Player of the Year, a terrific job. And a little softball from UCLA's Rachel Garcia with some action. How about that?
Very exciting.
Yeah, she had, what was it, 7 strikeouts in 9 innings to come back. Of course, UCLA, one of the all-time great leading programs, goes all the way back to the Olympian Fernandez and how great she was, and all the other.
Well, and they took over at number 1 spot this week in the top 25 poll, with Florida State dropping for the first time this season to 3rd after 2 losses this past weekend.
Here's Rebecca Chung that we talked about earlier, what she's been able to do defensively. Offensively, she's been outstanding as well. Now batting at 380 and pops this one down the right field line in foul ground.
It's exactly what you want to do with that outside pitch. Just meet it and make sure your hips and your momentum are moving toward that right field line. It's what makes her such a versatile hitter.
This is the 51st at bat on the year for Chung. She scored 8 times, 19 hits, 3 doubles, 3 home runs. That up high. And also with 19 runs batted in. There you see some of the fans Rebecca getting that fan love. Beautiful ballpark. Go watch softball, and as we always do, if you're in the Louisville area, encourage you to check out the ACC softball action when it's in town, and anywhere across the country there's the ACC, particularly in our area, involved in something going on all the time, and we're glad to bring it to you.
Well, and Dawn, we were talking before the broadcast, 5 out of 6 of the ACC series this weekend have already been clinched.
Yeah.
There is only one rubber match today, and that is between Florida State and Notre Dame at Florida State. So Florida State took the first matchup. As you see, just a check swing there by Rebecca Chung. Not able to run it out. And then the second game yesterday, Notre Dame took 7-4. So they've got their rubber match today going on right now. That'll be interesting to see who pulls that out. But as far as clinches go, Duke, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, UNC, and Louisville clinched the series yesterday. And
that'll all come into play as they go into next week's action. Taylor Roby, the redshirt freshman, coming to the plate, batting at .326. And of course, Louisville's next competition after today will be that all-important 3-game series coming up at Notre Dame on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's a take and strike, a good pitch from Romero there.
Going back to Notre Dame, that's going to be a tough series for these Cards to go into. You know, Notre Dame has had a very strong schedule thus far. They have won against number 5 Washington, number 18 Oklahoma State, and then ranked Ohio State. They are no longer ranked. But they've also played number 6 Tennessee and number 2 Oklahoma, lost both those games. But they've seen a lot of formidable opponents so far this season. So the Cards are going to have to go there and play lights out.
Yeah, and going to Notre Dame is never easy. They support all of their Olympic sports as well. It's terrific home court or home field advantage depending on the sport you're playing. Check swing there from Roby. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count on the redshirt freshman from nearby Mount Washington and her seasonal numbers.
The Cards hitters seem to pick up right where they left off on Friday, struggling against the great pitcher, Romero.
Yeah, she's yet to surrender a hit after inning and a third, and she's one of those players that doesn't really weaken as you go through the game. She gets a little bit stronger.
Well, and again, she pitched 121 pitches with an injury on her throwing finger.
That's being a gamer, I guess, right?
Right. Mentally tough.
But she's fun to watch. You'll see some pitchers that are just, very businesslike, but you know what's on her mind just by reading her body language. Here's the pitch. Check swing. Was it a check swing? They're going to appeal. Yep.
The second check swing there by Roby. Both close calls, in my opinion.
Now Romero's gone full. This will be her 30th pitch here in the bottom half of the second. Now line shot just barely gets into right field, and that's the first hit in the game for not only Taylor Roby, but for the Louisville Cardinals, and she fought that one off for the hit.
It almost looks exactly like the little blooper that Rebecca Chung hit on Friday.
Like a pool shot. Had that spin.
Whatever works.
Yep. Absolutely. So Roby aboard at first, 1 out. And now Kira Snyder. Kira coming to the plate, the sophomore, for the first time today, and takes a strike. Batting at .217. And that's what the particulars you know about her. Lefty against lefty. And that's a taken strike. We were talking yesterday with the pitcher like Romero in the circle, and the heat she can bring, liking to work inside. It's not an easy place to be a left-handed batter.
No.
There was a good breaking ball. Just did get a piece of it.
Kira Snyder struggled on Friday versus lefty pitcher Romero, went 0 for 3 with 1 strikeout. We'll see if she can make some adjustments this time around.
Well, you can tell how Romero could be tough on lefties. Like right there. Call strike on the inside corner.
Beautiful pitch there.
Just don't have much time to react. And Romero able to ring up the K. That is her 3rd strikeout today.
Throws up a little dab there.
You know, I love players like that, though. I mean, you know, the sidebars of most games are the individuals and what they're like. And you can learn a lot from that as Riley Schindler comes to the plate. Borden, Indiana native, takes a ball outside. 1-0 Syracuse.
As much as I love watching players with intensity and purpose, I love watching players with energy as well.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
you're right.
You feed off that. It's fun to watch.
You've got 2 little ones. You know about energy, right?
Yes, they've sucked all mine out of me.
Endless energy. Keep you young. Here's the sophomore looking at this pitch down a little low. So all those games at Notre Dame will be quite a challenge, and you'll be able to follow those on the ACC Network Extra and the platforms of ESPN throughout the year. And there's the walk goes to Schindler.
Nice at bat there for Riley Schindler.
Now time called, and want to have a quick conversation. Chalik goes out to talk to the left-hander. And Maddie Newman will have her opportunity to come to the plate, batting .227 on the year. There's a good look at the Indiana native. And her numbers on the year.
Maddie Newman with some great success yesterday, going 1 for 1 and batting in 2 RBIs. Gaining some quality confidence at the plate.
We have Schindler running. We're going to have the Schindler on base again. Was it 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 base runners, and both are Schindlers.
Yep. We've
And
got
Maddie Newman.
number 7 Page on second base. And 4, you saw Riley just take the walk. And actually, the 2 RBIs that Maddie Newman had yesterday were for both the set of twins.
How about that?
Yeah.
There
Maybe this is a superstitious piece.
Could be. There you see the junior left-hander check her pitching card. Now ready with the 1-0 to Newman. Foul off to the left, out of play, just beyond the hitting area and pitching area. The outdoor variety. There's an indoor facility on the right side of the stadium. Cardinal Park, beautiful part of the campus. The late Owsley Frazier responsible for a lot of the things that have happened here. There's a pitch, just did miss.
Romero wanted that one. She leans forward like, really?
You can see the emotion, and I know one thing for sure, Romero wants to go home with a win. As a junior, she's been there, done that. Another foul off to the left, out of play. So Romero making some pretty good pitches, but Maddie doing a pretty good job of getting rid of them and staying alive at the plate.
Good opportunity here for the Cards to tie up the score.
Now from our center field camera, that's high and away. Now another full count. She's gone to the full count several times here early in the game.
Definitely going deeper in the count.
45 pitches now, and we're in the bottom half of the second inning. But that's not unusual for her, as we've mentioned. There's one down the left field line. Should be catchable, and is, as Martin makes the play. A threat, but nothing doing. It remains the Cuse 1 and the Cards nothing. You know, 7 Innings is a weekly softball podcast with the ESPN personalities covering all the sports, entertaining us all the way to Oklahoma City and beyond. Listen now, ESPN app, iTunes, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Podcast the big deal now, and all the talent and personalities will be discussing it in depth as we move toward Oklahoma City. Usually Memorial Day weekend is that event that I was a part of back in 1992. Were you around?
What do you mean was that?
Just,
of course I was around.
oh, but it's a great event, and that podcast there will be plenty to talk about.
These gals were not around.
No, well, you know. But they may be in the World Series someday, that's for sure. Acevedo, doing a great job. She's been busy through this series and trying to get on base, but cuts through this one for strike 2. Went after that one out of the zone, and I tell you what.
Back-to-back high and inside pitches from Danielle Watson. She said, you know what? I saw you go the first time. I'm going to dish you the same exact pitch again.
And went for it.
Yep, great execution. I love the green bows.
How about that?
It's fun.
Little St. Patty's touch. You could have done that. I couldn't have helped in that category, I don't think, today.
We could put a little bow in your hair, Don.
Yeah. Now, my sisters did that to me growing up. I'm all done with that. Thank you. That was a big strikeout, and you mentioned back-to-back Ks. That's 6 now for Watson, and she's only thrown 37 pitches.
Definitely staying ahead of the count.
Yep.
Scalotto new to the starting lineup.
Yeah, how about that? The freshman from League City, Texas.
Is their DP.
Where's number 7, left-handed batter. Goes through that one, and
her head was very far off that ball. I'm sure they're, you know, freshman, first start, feeling some nerves. And you could see that based on, I mean, her head was so far off that ball.
And facing one that can bring some heat. And there's another K and another dominating performance by Watson. She's given up 2 hits and a run, but she's also not walked a batter yet and struck out 7. And we are in the top half of the 3rd inning. 2/3 of the way through the top half of the inning. And now the top of the order, and Bryce Holmgren. And she takes a strike, and now Watson's got it all around the strike zone and just picking on the corners.
Holmgren won very good up at the plate. She has been plunked, hit by pitches 5 times. She's actually tied with Sid Melton from the Cards, 3rd in the ACC. Not afraid of getting hit.
There's a good look at the composure on the face of Watson. Swing and a miss.
Big cut there by Holmgren.
So Watson getting the win on Friday, but yet dominating here pitching, but down 1-0 here in the top of the 3rd, and she strikes out the side.
Oh my gosh.
Impressive
amazing.
indeed. 1-0 Cuse. Well, you talk about a bundle of fun before the game. We'll talk about the particulars of that in a minute. But we know coming up on SportsCenter, it's Selection Sunday recap. Of course, that all happens tonight. And NBA highlights. But these youngsters had a big surprise. They got to be a part of the national anthem.
Cute
the
little
starting
ball
lineup
club.
today.
I love that. 8U travel ball team coming to hang out with the local university. Very cool.
Bring back any memories?
Yes.
Oh, that's a great thing where
So
these
fun.
I know the University of Louisville does it. I'm sure other ACC schools try to marry the community with the university and those young.
It's so important to build a culture and
Yeah,
a
it
following for your team to do things like that. And what a special moment for those young girls.
They really were. This one inside to Funky. She wasn't going to move out of the way as we got the lefty against lefty.
Funky having 2 triples against Romero. She was one of the few batters who was able to handle Romero's pitching on Friday. She got number 7th and number 8th on the season.
Yep.
Looking to get number 9. Was not able to get any hits yesterday. So she's looking to redeem herself today.
It's like, what can you do for me now? She has been a triple machine, needless to say. It's been a joy to call almost all of her home games. This one hit in the air into left field, should be playable, and Martin moves toward the line to make the play.
And just keeps on going.
Yep. And Romero she got that early lead, but giving up only a hit. But now she would love to be able to pick up a win for the Cuse to take back home. At least salvage a game of this series.
Build a little momentum. Come back with some positives.
This one way back off the screen is Sydney Melton. Sydney grounded out in her first at bat. Good look at the senior. Saw Sid after the game yesterday. She was out visiting with friends and family, and she's a live wire too now.
Way under that ball.
Popped up a mile high in the air, and a tough play and a good one made by Dossett. Everybody thinks that's easy. Go outside and try it. When it's hit straight up in the air.
Well, and especially with a gray cloud, you know, overcast day, it's tough to really find that ball. I mean, you talk about the sun being in players' eyes. The gray skies can, you know, cast a flat light over what you're trying to catch too, causing other issues.
Here's Megan Hensley, and Megan takes the pitch up high, the senior.
Romero is really all over the place.
A strikeout victim, her first trip to the plate. One of 3 today. Romero is recorded, and that one comes right down in front of us a little bit.
Oh, nice catch, buddy.
Somebody made the play. All right.
A good look there at Jolik.
And ready with the 1-1 offering now. Romero tried to nip the outside corner, tried to get, it says, we'll be surprised if they don't give Romero the ball, because, you know, as the leader, she wants to take a win home if possible. This one popped up and back again off the screen.
Well, and not only that, Don, but the depth on this Syracuse pitching staff is not where Coach Depking would like it. They do have both number 77 Peyton Schnockenberg and number 8 Miranda Hearn in the bullpen now warming up.
Well, that would not be a surprise with the pitch count from the other day. And again today, lifted in the shallow right field, and the second baseman goes out in Tehran. A little snow cone, but she makes the play. We'll be right back. ESPN and the ACC bring you the ACC Network coming August 22nd. 15 universities all on one network. A new place to call home. Visit getaccn.com to learn more. Glad to have you along on the ACC Network Extra, and excited about all the things coming up in August for the league and the network. Right now, we're in the 3rd game of a series over the weekend in ACC play. Cardinals won the first 2. Syracuse trying to get out of town with a win and lead it 1-0 as we go to the top half of the 4th inning. Here's the first pitch swinging, a one-hopper to short, and Tehran is out in 1 pitch. That's the pitcher's best friend.
Easy peasy play there for Caitlin Ferguson. Fields it very cleanly. Nice struck ball. Ferguson's able to field it cleanly. And here's who you don't want to see on the base pad. Stealing.
Alicia Hansen.
Multiple bases.
Yep. Swings on the first pitch and fouls it back. She is responsible for the only run in the game. And that was because of that single. Stole a couple of bases. And then got to the plate for what has been up to this point the lone run from either team. Off the end of the bat, that one might be trouble, and it's going to be into left field for a hit. She's going for two, and that's why she is at the top of the order. That great speed, and with one swing of the bat, she's at second.
You see it. She didn't even have she didn't swing through it at all. This ball was fielded very well, though, by Riley Schindler in left field. Was able to hit Caitlin Ferguson very quickly for that cutoff position. They did have a play with Maddie Newman at second base. The tag on Alicia Hansen is just too quick and got underneath.
Hansen 2 for 2 today. Now down at second base. 1 out. And now Caceres Mayer will come to the plate. She got caught looking. She was one of the 8 strikeout victims today for Watson. But that's the 3rd hit for the Cuse. Louisville has only 1. Swing and a miss there as the sun pops through the clouds. And shadows come into play here at Ulmer Stadium and Cardinal Park on the University of Louisville campus. And the 1-1 inside got away. Runner's going to go and get the third. It just bounced off to the left, and there was no doubt that Hansen was going to move over.
I think that ball got away from Danielle Watson just a little bit too inside. Rebecca Chung couldn't handle it. It dribbles away.
Swing and a miss there to even the count at 2-2. Well, that just shows you, partner, in the game of this game of softball, it's not how many hits you get, it's how many people you get on base and what you do with them in those positions. And there's a perfect example where Louisville's not been able to do that, and Syracuse looking to take a 2-0 lead. Swing and a miss, but that's a great strikeout for Watson there.
Number 9 on the day.
Now batting the catcher, number 13.
Huge upside for Watson as well. Her determination, you just see her face and her actions as she steps outside the circle, goes through the motions, looking at her pitch card. And once she touches that pitching rubber, she's all business. And that inside is, that time Chung had to move to her left.
I was going to say Danielle Watson is making sure Rebecca Chung is paying attention. You know, Don, you were talking about aggressive base running. Louisville second in the ACC coming into today's game. 44 stolen bases on 53 attempts, second only to Florida State, who has attempted 61 times and stolen 52 bases.
Yeah, Florida State's always been a running team. Yep, absolutely.
Syracuse only 19 of 27 on the season coming into today's game. Conversely, looking at overall pitching staffs, Louisville leads the ACC with a 1.71 ERA. Florida State is number 2 at 2.20, and Notre Dame 2.21.
Well, a quick conversation now back to play on the 2-0 pitch. That's up high. Good eye at the plate. Chalik, nobody's going to help Watson, that's for sure. With the 1-run lead, and you can hear the chatter from the Cuse dugout. There's a taken strike, a big strike there.
This fastball in the inside corner.
So now with Hansen over at third, of course, several options could occur to get a run in without a hit. And now you got another base runner on the walk. Runners at the corners with 2 down. And now Dossett was going to come to the plate, the senior.
Dossett has the ability to hit this ball and hit it hard. Since there's 2 outs, we won't see any sacrifice flies. But she's going to try and hit away here, and I wouldn't be surprised if Micholik gets down to second base.
And I think you're right. Matter of fact, Watson ducked to think that maybe there was going to be a throw. The set 0 for 1 today. That was a strikeout. There's swing and a miss, strike 2, and that's, if she can get the punch out here, that is exactly what the doctor ordered to get her out of this jam with runners at first and third and already trailing 1-0 here in the top of the 4th. Missed outside. I mean, that ball gets in a hurry to the plate, doesn't it? You can see Chung, you don't have a whole lot of time to react to pitch outside the zone. Well, that one's down low. Good job by Chung. Got to put the tailgate down, don't you? And make sure it doesn't go anywhere. If it comes like that, you got to make sure it stays in front of you. And the pitch on the way. Line drive to third on 1 hop. The throw across the diamond. And a nice play made over there by Melton. It remains 1-0 the Cuse. How about our ACC News and Notes Pitcher of the Week? NC State Sydney Nestor, 40 strikeouts.
Oh my gosh.
And only a .105 BA for the opponents. The Cross Player of the Week, Dempsey Arsenault, led the Eagles to 2 ranked wins over Navy and Northwestern, and Jesse Aney, 2 for 0 singles and doubles. Number 24 ranked Duke in women's softball. And of course, a lot of the news and notes come from the Cardinal fans that are enjoying themselves today.
I know those kids.
That's your guys, isn't it? Come on. It is. That's the other part of the family. The Bush family is here in force. How about that? They look like they're having fun. They know what mom's doing too, right? Come on, mom's working, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Dad looks like he's doing all right, though. He was a former pitcher, right, at Bellarmine?
No, he was a second baseman.
Oh, second baseman. I was moved him up to a new position. But his real win was finding you, of course.
How sweet. Thank you, Don.
1-0 here, the Cuse leading Louisville. Syracuse and the Cardinals going at it on swinging on the first pitch, popped up. And Caitlin Ferguson, it's quickly an out for Romero, and that's the kind she likes too. She does get stronger as the game goes on. Certainly when it comes to her determination. And now Rebecca Chung, of course, she could change things with one swing of the bat. This will be a pretty good battle between these two. Taking strike. Good pitch down low and on the outside part of the plate. You can see what Chung has done today and her numbers on the year. That ground out was to third base. Just got a piece of that one.
Good swing there by Chung. Head is right on the ball. She gets a hold of this, it's going to be gone. She swings like that again.
Freshman out of Torrance, California. Just now climbing back in. As you can see, Romero steps back into the circle. Hit high in the air and foul ground. Could be playable. Chased by the right fielder, the second baseman, and the first baseman. But Chung stays alive because that ball had a little bit more air underneath it. It might have been a foul out, but she gets a reprieve and
Speedy Tehran beat everybody
Wasn't
there.
she?
She had the furthest ground to cover, and yet she was there first.
I thought I was waiting to hear a little beep beep. She got over there in a heartbeat. Here's the 0-2 again. This one fouled
Identical.
out. And not a chance on the play, and falling down that time, Acevedo at first base. She comes up limping a little bit. She took a tumble right between the grass and the warning area with the dirt.
Yeah, in field hockey, we used to call those turf monsters. There wasn't really any obstacle that she tripped over. I think she's laughing. She just tripped over her own feet there.
Hey, it happens.
Right.
Another 0-2.
Oh my gosh.
This one is going to drop for a base hit. And Chung has to stop it first. Boy, 3 times right down that right field line. That one in fair territory.
You see this just so underneath it. Another blooper over the first baseman's head. Again, whatever works.
She's on base with 1 out.
You will see a pinch runner here for Chung. Yeah, probably Jordan Wolf.
It is. Well, you got to give Chung credit for fighting off some pretty good pitches from Romero just to stay alive at the plate.
Quite a battle.
Wolf is the runner over there. You see her, number 23, hitting in her running position. 1-0 Syracuse. That run came back in the top of the first inning. Been scoreless since. Syracuse a run on 3 hits. Louisville no runs on 2 hits. And 2 costly errors that led to a run. The run was unearned. Pitch up high to Taylor Roby. Roby with a base hit to right field. And her only trip to the plate today, now batting .341. Low and away. Cardinals picked 3rd in the Atlantic Division and 5th overall. Of course, those were all preseason polls that we looked at on Friday that now that we're in the season, they really don't matter anymore.
Right.
Something to talk about prior to the season. Just did paint that one on the outside corner. Boy, that's just almost an impossible pitch to hit, isn't it? Whew.
That's a tough one.
Unless you guess right. Redshirt freshman at the plate against a junior from Syracuse, and just got a piece of that one. Protecting that outside corner, and slaps it foul.
Great job there by Taylor Roby to see that outside pitch and just find the bat to meet the ball and send it foul, because you're not going to be able to get any power behind a ball that's that outside.
So now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. A runner on and 1 out in a 1-0 game here in the bottom of the 4th. That one fouled as the runner going. So now Wolf will return to first. Cardinals thinking a little hit and run there with 1 down. I'd say Roby's a pretty good player to have at the dish for that. She makes good contact. Little number. And Romero will chase it down and flip it over herself to get the 2nd out in the inning.
Obviously not ideal for the Cards. They would prefer to have 2 bases on, or 2 base runners on, but still now they've got speedy Jordan Wolf in scoring position.
That's the idea, yep. Exactly right. And Kira Snyder struck out looking back in the 2nd. Trying to put bat on ball here. And does. This one fouled off to the left. Of course, both these programs 20 years old. This one started here under Sandy Pearsall, that just retired after a great career here. And you can see it all around the complex, the All-Americans, the All-Conference players.
Oh,
Got her almost on the back of the heel. Got away from Romero. She shakes her head.
that ball definitely got way away from Romero.
There it
You
is.
can see it. I mean, it hits the back of her leg.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many times, like how far removed I am from the game, I still flinch.
I bet. I would too. Some things you just never forget.
I mean, I remember playing in 30-degree weather. It was 8 o'clock
geez.
one night, and I got dinged in the ankle bone.
Jeez.
And I
still
was usually
feel it.
pretty. Yeah, I do. I will never forget the pain, just with how cold it was, and it was the best pitcher in the state. And I thought my ankle bone was like shattered into a million pieces.
I bet that. Well, that obviously is stuck in your mind.
Yes.
All the details. 2 balls and no strikes. Schindler, the hitter, and Romero upset that she's fallen behind 2-0. She starts to slow a little bit as you get into the middle innings, but she doesn't lose any velocity. That's for sure. There's a nice breaker in for a call strike. That's almost her go-to pitch, isn't it?
Yes.
She has a lot of confidence with the breaking ball. Now ahead in the count, 2-1. Is Schindler. That up a little bit high. Good eye by Riley. Now it's 3-1.
Riley walked the first time, so she's looking to get on base here via walk. And this actually will be Romero's 200th pitch
Of the series.
on the weekend.
Wow.
That's a lot of pitching.
The 3-1.
Here's a walk.
There. The easy pass. You're right, and now the bases are loaded. Starting to get a little activity down in the Cuse bullpen. People scurrying around now. Somebody's going to got somebody throwing right now.
Schnockenberg, it looks like.
Yeah.
Big at bat here, though, for Maddie Newman. High pressure situation. She needs to just do what they did yesterday. Stick to the game plan. Hard base hit. Get it right outside into the grass. Score some base runners.
Maddie flied to left field in her only trip to the plate, and she takes a pitch down low. And Romero getting a little upset with herself, and now Cholik wants to come out and settle her down, and of course the plate umpire will be right behind her to make sure there's not any stalling tactics, trying to warm somebody up down there. Of course, it doesn't take these young ladies a long time to get ready. We always get asked, and I'm sure you do too, how hard is that on the arms of these pitchers? No, it's a whole different process than anything that goes overhead. So
Well, and that's because of the motion. That's why pitchers are able to pitch multiple games in a weekend. But there's still a recovery process that goes along with it. They're just able to recover quicker.
And get used to throwing those many pitches. It's a routine you get in, right?
Well,
Once
and you
you
think
learn
about
it.
the softball tournaments that all of these ladies have played in for many, many years. I mean, they are playing, in some of these cases, 3 to 4 games a day.
Yeah. Big out there, huh? Get the fly out, and that ends the threat. We'll continue more in a minute. Well, the grounds crew does a great job here, and we'd like to remind you that ESPN and the ACC bring you ACC Network, a new 24/7 network covering all the ACC action across all the sports and all the seasons. 15 universities, all on one network, have a new place to call home. Revel in the rivalry and tradition like never before with live games, exclusive access, original shows, and analysis of all things ACC. Coming to TV, computer, and mobile screen on August 22nd. Visit getaccn.com to learn more.
The countdown is on.
It is on. And what about the grounds crew here? They're fabulous.
They do a remarkable job. I mean, these guys are out here in 30-degree weather, in coveralls, and you name it, just meticulous about every single blade of grass and piece of dirt on this field. It's amazing.
And there you see Madison Casino now behind the plate. She used to catch. She usually catches Watson, doesn't she?
She has.
She has?
Up until this weekend.
Yeah,
And that's why
okay.
I was very surprised that Chung took the starting position on Friday with Danielle on the mound. Koo's a senior catcher.
Tony Martin, the hitter, and quickly gets ahead in the count 3-0. Martin has struck out, so you certainly want to get a strike in the zone if you're Watson. And she swings on the 3-0 pitch and hits one to third.
Great movement there by Sydney Melton to keep that ball in front of her. She could have easily backhanded that ball, but because she's so quick, she is able to slide to the right. You see, nice solid ball. Melton is able to keep that ball in front of her, which is what you want any of your infielders to do if you have the chance.
And here's Acevedo as she takes a strike on the outside corner. And even to be alert to know that she swung on a 3-0 pitch. That's not the usual thing that happens.
Normally, you just sit back and you let the pitch come. But if you see a giant meatball come on a 3-0 pitch, I was always an aggressive hitter. I wanted to swing the bat. I didn't want to take a walk unless I had to.
Any meatballs around in here?
No,
Did I miss something?
Oh, stop. Nope.
I'm just
I
kidding.
did not cook
But
today.
it does look like a meatball coming down there, doesn't it? Here's the 1-1 pitch swing and a miss.
That did not look like a meatball. That was
No.
a wicked pitch by Watson.
That looked like an olive, maybe. That small.
What? Yes. Good point.
Was certainly fooled on the pitch. Strike 3 call. Just did nail the part of the corner. Wow. And look at the offensive summary for the Cuse. A run on, well, that one of them a double. The only hits, no home runs, 1 stolen base, runs in scoring position.
Left 5 batters on.
Yep, left 5 batters on base. That's
Definitely something that Coach Depking will address.
Scalado coming up. Jessica out of League City, Texas, getting in the lineup today as the designated player. He's had to count 2 balls and no strikes. You don't want to walk this batter. You're at the number 9 slot. Not that you want to walk anybody.
Going into the top of the lineup, though.
Right. Now it's 3-0 the count. We've already had one Syracuse player help out on a 3-0 count in this inning. I don't think that's going to happen again. We'll see. We'll see. She takes a strike. Danielle Watson looking for her 7th win against 5 losses. 10 strikeouts today and only 1 walk, and there's a taken strike. Now she's working the count full.
Well, and 2 of those losses were to top 20 ranked teams.
That's right.
She took the circle against both Tennessee, who was ranked 6th, and Auburn, who was ranked 20th.
Yeah. So not your normal start. And that's the walk to start. Something with 2 out now. And now the top of the order, as my partner mentioned, it'll be Bryce Holmgren. She struck out twice today. That's what Watson wants again here, if possible. Little slap to third. Melton picks it up and throws her out. So a good inning for Louisville as we're in the middle of the 5th inning. It remains Syracuse 1 and Louisville nothing. The 2019 NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament is almost here and everybody's excited. Once again, 64-team field in the bracket will all compete for the national championship. The 2019 bracket will be revealed Monday night at 7 p.m. on ESPN. Yeah, that's something to dance about here on St. Patty's Day.
Oh, Got a little floss action.
Little floss going
Okay.
on there. She knows it.
I
And by
feel
the
you, girl.
way,
Oh,
right across the street from us will be Cardinal Arena. That's where the Cardinal women's team will unite tomorrow and watch that selection show. And a pretty
So
good
exciting.
chance they're going to be hosting a regional, too.
I'll knock on wood.
And
for the
Jeff
Cards.
Walls and his team has been in the top 5 pretty much all year long, and look for them maybe to get back to the Final Four. Here's Celine Funky. The matter at hand now is to, if you're a Cardinal fan, to do something about this 1-0 Syracuse lead here in the bottom of the 5th. Swing and a miss by Funky. Celine has walked and flied out, so 0 for 1 today. Well, Romero's gone with the shades. Hadn't needed him any rest of the time, that's for sure.
The sun is finally shining.
And matches her uni. No great surprise, I guess. Now the 1-1 on the way to Funky, way high and away. Romero's count up to 85 pitches now. And the junior left-hander already in the record books for Syracuse in terms of career statistics, strikeouts, shutouts, and wins. There's a
nice
solid hit
base hit.
as Funky went with that pitch. And she starts the inning with a solid single to right.
Great leadoff there by Celine Funky. Makes great solid contact to her favorite spot to hit, left center.
She did a great job there. There you see her aboard over at first.
We'll see if we have a sacrifice bunt.
Well, Cindy Melton will come to the plate 0 for 2 today, grounded out and popped out. And she runs up on this pitch and takes a strike. Plate umpire Chris Naki has kind of a delayed call strike, and I think she was waiting for that one. That's one thing the umpires like to do. They have their own style behind home plate. Here's the 1-strike pitch. That's high and away. Runner goes. Throw. Not in time. Another stolen base for the Louisville Cardinals as Funky gets second, and now she's in scoring position.
That is Funky's second funky slide into second base. She slid almost over it. I was thinking she might have not had contact with the bag.
Yeah, she was able to
slid
just
right over it.
Yes, she did.
She's so fast.
This one
There's a
knocked down
wow.
at second base. No play anywhere.
What a play
But
by
that
Tehran.
probably saved a run, though, didn't it?
Most definitely. Celine Funky was already a third of the way into home plate when she saw Tehran actually glove that ball. Rocket shot there by Sid Melton.
Man.
What a play there by Tehran.
Yeah, because that thing was there in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it goes as an infield single because it was just an impossible play, and Louisville now has out-hit the Cuse 4-3.
Get a shot there at Peyton Schnockenberg, warming up in the bullpen. Number 77, as well as Miranda Hearn, number 8. Both players have been in and out of the bullpen. But Romero will stay.
Yeah, she will. Looks like whoever is going to be ready to come in if needed. Now here's Hensley.
Big opportunity here, I was going to say.
Popped it up on the first
Needed
pitch.
the sac fly into the outfield for the Cards. The hit and run was on.
And Dossett able to take it in foul ground, and that's out number 1. And now Ferguson will give it a try.
Smart pitching there by Romero to keep that ball high in the strike zone, knowing that Hensley is going to get up there and try and hit a long, high sac fly into the outfield. And because it was high in the strike zone, Hensley got underneath it.
This
And
one
another
popped up,
sac fly.
back into right field. This should be
Celine
enough
will
to score.
tag.
And a run scores, and a throw comes to second. That works, and now we got a 1-1 game.
And what a cannon there by Holmgren in right field. Coming up gunning after making that play to keep Sid Melton, who is extremely quick, at first base.
Yeah, that seems like a little thing, but instead you would think she would be at scoring position. Don't waste a throw to the plate. Keep that runner at first. And now we'll see Cousineau coming to the plate for the first time today after taking over the catcher's duties. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second. Not in time. As Louisville has tied the game here at 1 and now has that runner in scoring position.
Caceres Mayer saved Michalek on that throw there by keeping that ball in front of her, because if that ball dribbled out, Sid Melton was going to pop right up and be at third base.
Yeah, she doesn't like to hit the brake very often unless she has to. The senior, Madison Cousineau, out of Otto, North Carolina. Louisville has tied it here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, the final game of the 3-game series. Louisville looking for the sweep. Syracuse looking to go home with at least 1 win out of the 3. The first weekend of ACC play. Swing and a miss.
Coos was right on that ball, just took her eye off of it just last second. Quality swing there, though.
Well, it all started with Funky singling, then stole second, and then able to get in. There's a call strike, and Cousineau is caught looking to end the inning. But a tie game now as Louisville has scored, and we're knotted up in 1. Well, here's what's coming up for the Cuse. They're 8-16, 0-2, and they got at Boston College again. Niagara, and a doubleheader, then Notre Dame, then Canisius. So they've got conference play coming up on the road again, and then hosting Notre Dame. So that'll all be happening up in Orange Country. Here we're tied at 1. Gabby Turand, a sophomore, she's made a couple of pretty good plays today, hasn't she?
She is a heck of a defender.
Struck out looking and is grounded out 0 for 2 at the plate. Still batting at .254 after today, and pops this one up foul. If you joined us late, Danielle Watson, the starting pitcher for Louisville, trying to pick up her 7th win and 2nd of the weekend. That's what you see it Gabby has done today on her 0 for 2 afternoon. And Watson about to throw her 80th pitch. That's chopped foul outside of third. 10 strikeouts, 2 walks, giving up 1 extra base hit. That's the double. Of course, the 1 run not earned on back-to-back errors for Louisville in that first inning. Two hopper to short. And a nice play taken care of by Ferguson on a player at the bat that can really run down the first baseline. Made it look easy.
It's a nice stretch there by Kira Snyder at first base to make sure that they make this play and get this out. While it was cleanly fielded by Caitlin Ferguson, Kira Snyder really put the exclamation point on that play.
Yep, and that was a smart play too, because you saw how.
Well, Tehran is so fast.
Yeah.
And you talk about speed. Alicia Hansen is no slow coach either.
And she's 2 for 2 today. A single and a run scored, then a double. Single was in the first, a double was in the 4th, but she was left stranded at third base. And she wanted in the worst way to get that second run.
She was chomping at the bit.
You see that .310 batting average for the senior. Pops this one up foul. Out of play. Cousineau gets a new softball, tosses it out to Watson. Going to be an exciting year after we conclude this opening weekend in ACC play. That misses outside. We talked about the preseason polls that, you know, everybody have fun with, but now it won't take long after the first 2 or 3 weeks to see who is going to do what's expected and who maybe is underachieving or overachieving.
Well, and Don, we talked earlier about the rubber match today between Notre Dame and number 3 Florida State, and Florida State is leading 5-0 in the top of the 7th.
Yeah.
So it looks as though they will clinch their opening series in the ACC against Notre Dame.
Of course, that Florida State women's softball program, after numerous chances, finally get their first NCAA women's softball championship last year. And a lot of those players back, and they'll be a team not only watching the ACC, but also nationally. Another foul off to the left out of play.
Quite a battle.
Yeah, Hanson and Watson got that 1v1 going on right now. And again, it'll remain a 3-ball, 2-strike count with 1 out. And a 1-1 score here in the top half of the 6th inning. That's a chopper foul, just shy of the Cardinal dugout. Hanson, the senior, looks in, and now Watson ready to come plateward. Just did miss the inside corner. Wow, you could see from that angle and that little jump from Watson.
That's something you don't see a whole lot of from Watson. She doesn't show you a whole lot of motions. But yes, she thought she caught that inside corner, and the momentum just took her down like, oh, how are you not going to give me that? But kudos to Hanson for winning that battle.
And she now is the base runner, which both teams strive for at this point in the game when it's tied at 1. Slow roller to second. The only play will be to first. And Newman makes that play easily, so there's 2 out.
You could see Newman look under her right arm a little bit to see if she had any shot at Hanson. She knew she didn't, so she went ahead and made sure she got at least 1 out and went to Kira Snyder at first.
Yeah, get that sure out indeed. Good point, and Hanson did move down to second on the play. And Micholik now will come to the plate. Single to center and a walk today. And she takes a strike on the inside part. Out of Whinywood, Pennsylvania. Sophomore, 5'11". Throws right, bats right. That misses inside. Watson, Doc goes to the back of the circle. Long look over to the dugout. Now the glance of the pitching card. Trying to get the 3rd out here in the inning and keep it a 1-1 game. Way upstairs. That one got away from her a bit.
Athletic move there by Kuz to throw her glove out there. Was able to snag that.
Another foul back to the screen. So Watson putting him in the strike zone, but Cholik able to foul him away. She remains in there hanging at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The go-ahead run down at second base, and Hanson. And that's down low again in the dirt.
Don, I wouldn't be surprised if before long Taylor Roby is summoned to finish this game. She is not yet in the bullpen, but I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Hulley makes that call before long.
And that's a walk. Runners at first and second. And that makes that one that Watson missed just by a smidget earlier even bigger, and you can't let that get you down, though, because now you got runners at first and second. And Dossett will come to the plate. strikeout and a ground out. The appeal did not swing. You can hear the rally cry from over the Syracuse dugout along the first base line. Trying to get that go-ahead run in. Swing and a miss. That was a big strike there. Watson had missed, I think, 3 out of the strike zone in a row.
Came back with the heater there.
Mile high in the air. Cousineau gets rid of the mask, having trouble.
And another lack of communication. That was something Coach Hawley harped to us about preseason, was my infield is struggling with their communication. That is the second dropped ball for the Cards that should have been caught.
Yep.
Pretty routine pop flies.
Of course, Cousineau, the second on the depth chart in catching, coming in to catch in part of this game. You could tell it was going to be a problem from the beginning. And you talk about keeping something alive. That should have been the final out in the inning. And now, even though officially it's not an error,
I think in Coach Hawley's mind, that was
it doesn't
definitely
matter.
an error.
Yeah. Mental or physical, it doesn't matter. You're right. And that's exactly what she did. Talked about really as one of her concerns, and not unusual. She kind of underestimated that, you know, I can't anticipate everybody knowing everything.
Another
Popped
one.
up again
you see
this
Sid
time.
Melton saying, oh, nope. Oh, my gosh.
Squeeze it, Ferg. And she did. It's 1-1. Well, here's the Louisville upcoming schedule as they're trying to pick up their 20th win today at Notre Dame for that big series next weekend. Then Indiana back home, we'll have that one. Then to Virginia Tech for that series, and then Lipscomb, the game that was scheduled earlier and now rescheduled on the 2nd. So a lot of days away from home, and the next 2 series for Louisville in conference play are both on the road.
Yeah, big weekend ahead of Louisville. Traveling to Notre Dame next weekend.
Here's Taylor Roby swinging and missing on the first pitch. Taylor 1 for 2 today, a single back in the 2nd, grounded back to the circle in the 4th. Hits this one in the air down the right field line, and that's not caught. Making the turn, Roby. Here's the throw, and she's out. Great throw from the outfield to get the out.
Well, there you saw the cannon of Bryce Holmgren. And unfortunately, Taylor Roby is not the quickest footed person on the team. Plus, her slide was very late. If she had slid a millisecond earlier, I think she would have been safe. I'm sorry, that was Tehran that gunned that ball down. But you see how crunched Taylor Roby is in her slide into second base. If she had come out and gotten that slide started earlier, she would have been right under that tag.
What a rocket throw by Tehran. She may not be tall in stature, but wow. I thought it was the right fielder too, but then when you saw that, that's the only way they had a chance to get the out. Yeah.
Big play there for the Syracuse Orange.
Yeah, that would have been a runner at second base to lead off the inning, and now there's 1 out and nobody on. And Kara Snyder, she swings and pops it up into left center field. Easy play for Martin, and now there's 2 down. Boy, Romero.
Grateful for her defense.
Absolutely. She will thank every one of them. But I still can't get over that rocket throw by Tehran. I mean,
she's a heck of a defender for sure.
You had to make a perfect throw in a hurry, and she just threw a strike over there. Here's Riley Schindler, and she takes the ball inside.
Tehran has a bright future, only being a sophomore.
And just have the presence of mind to even chasing that ball in the outfield and not giving up on it. Because had she not been out there, it could have been an extra base hit easily. She not only backed her up, she threw the runner out.
Well, and that's the thing about Gabby Teran is she is so, I mean, she's got such great fast twitch muscles. I mean, she's so quick, and she's able to get places faster than the majority of the people on the right-hand side of the field. So if there is a ball on the right-hand side of the field, you better believe Gabby Teran is going to be somewhere in that vicinity.
Yeah, and she'll make the throw with that gas like she just did a minute ago. Wow. Terrific job. It's 3-0 now, the count on Schindler. And now Romero up to 100 pitches on the pitch count. And as my partner said, she's well over 200 pitches for the weekend. There's a take and strike right down the heart of the plate. Cardinal dugout trying to get that go-ahead run in, but put a star by that defensive play. That could have stopped the Louisville rally in a big-time way.
Big stop there for the Orange.
Those are the little things that make the difference. That's a take and strike at the knees.
And, you know, those are the plays that Louisville has struggled with. You know, not only some routine defensive plays, but also those big key defensive plays. You know, Louisville needs to step up their defense for sure.
And the 3-2 again. Strike three call. Romero gets some help from her defense, and it's 1-1. You're watching NCAA Division I softball on the ACC Network Extra. Glad to have you along from beautiful Cardinal Park, Ulmer Stadium on the University of Louisville campus, along with my partner, Suzanne Bush. I'm Don Russell, and all the young and little ones having a big time today. Glad you joined us for ACC softball. We are knotted up at 1 as we go to the top half of the 7th inning.
Everybody's finally coming out of hibernation. The sun is shining.
Absolutely. Foul off to the right, out of play by Tony Martin. There you see what Tony has done today. The other was a ground out in addition to the strikeout. Martin batting at a 255 clip now. Well, Watson went the distance for the win for Louisville on Friday. Check swing, the appeal. I didn't never see.
No, he went ahead and called that.
He
she
did?
went.
Okay.
Yeah, she definitely went.
I was going to say, I thought it looked close, but the plate umpire puts up a 1-2 count on his fingers, so we know for sure. A one hopper to the third. Melton eats it up and throws her out, and Martin's retired.
Now batting the first baseman, number 3, Alex Acevedo.
Here's Alex Acevedo. Acevedo is the fine first baseman. She's made some pretty good plays over there too. Back to her number 3 today after switching to 14 yesterday. The Orange Park area right outside of Jacksonville, if you're familiar with that part of the Sunshine State. And I bet she has a lot of her friends up at Syracuse say, hey, what are you doing for spring break? Oh, you are from Florida, right?
Yeah, I think she'll be playing softball.
I
don't think these ladies get spring break done.
After the season's over, they'll never forget. 2 balls, 1 strike to count, 1 out in a 1-1 game. There's one by the diving second baseman Newman into first to shallow center field. So that's a 1-out single.
Solid base hit for Acevedo.
Yep.
Just stayed nice and balanced and was able to get it in between Maddie Newman and the second base.
Was a good swing. And she's aboard first now. That's her first hit in 3 tries. And we may have a batter here.
Pinch runner.
Hitter, pinch runner. Okay.
Leilani Mayfield, number 23.
So Mayfield, the runner over at first base.
Changes in both lineups. Knocking in front of the first base for Syracuse, number 23, Leilani Mayfield.
Chung back in the game after that miscommunication in the last inning between Cousineau and Melton. Pop fly in between them. Easy ball to catch, but neither one of them communicating with the other. Danielle Watson walked off and gave them a piece of her mind.
I bet.
After they finally got the third out. She was not happy. I watched her walk all the way to the bullpen, spitting water, just furious. Like, come on, guys. I need a defensive unit to back me up. There is only so much I can do inside the circle.
And you don't blame her, and that's the kind of leadership. And you know, when the play starts with the ball in your hands, you got the right to say something to your teammates.
Oh, I would agree. She's doing her job.
Probably as effective, if not more, than a coach doing it. 2-0 the count. That's a taken strike.
I would definitely agree with that. A teammate getting on me about a mistake that I made would hit a lot harder than a coach. You know, a coach is supposed to point out all the critical pieces of my game. But a player saying, dude, I'm doing my job.
Right.
You need to do your job. That'll hit home pretty quickly.
Yeah, you let a teammate know that you think you're letting the rest of the team down. That'll get their attention in a hurry. If they're a good teammate, that is, which
sure.
She
yeah, you're not going to say that
ones.
to a teammate that you don't think is able to take it. Sid Melton definitely able to take it.
Right. There's a taken strike now. It's 3-2 the count. In a 1-1 game here in the top half of the 7th inning, the third and final game of the series between these two. Louisville trying to sweep it. Syracuse wants to get out of town with at least a win in this series, and a big punch out there for Watson. Right on the outside corner.
I call that ice water veins, Don.
Man, that's the perfect description of it. What a pitch. And now Bryce Holmgren, the right fielder, with 2 out and a runner at first.
And Taylor Roby in the bullpen for the Cards.
She's working to loosen up over there. And
Getting warmed up just in case this needs to go into extra innings. Or in case they get another runner on.
Bryce is 0 for 3 today. She struck out in both the first and third innings, then grounded out in the 5th. That's down a little bit low. Syracuse scored a run in the top of the first, held that 1-0 lead to the bottom of the 5th. Now we're in the top of the 7th, 2 out, 1 on. Still tied at 1-1. That one just off the outside part of the plate. Well, we got some fans gathered in the outfield. A couple of dogs out there having a big time, and it's been a good game today in the final game of the 3. That's on the outside corner. Now Holmgren didn't think that was a strike. Both of these pitchers know how to nibble around the inside and outside corners. You can see there the shake off. She didn't like the pitch call, so she shakes it off. Watson, and now she's ready. See what she comes with on the 2-2. Good pitch that was just fouled away.
Well, and I love the confidence when a pitcher is able to say, you know what, coach, that is not working for me. I don't think that's going to work for this batter.
Right.
And say, no, give me the next call. What else do you think I can throw?
Who knows better than Watson? That one's a big chopper. Play at second base. Would have had the force out, but they couldn't hold on to the ball as the throw went over to Newman. She just couldn't hang on. I didn't see if the throw was offline.
Another costly error here. She had the ball in her glove, and as she was stretching out, just missed the ball. It dribbled right out of her glove. Big mistake there for the Cards.
Yeah, that's the 3rd error in the game, and now Holly April is going to make her way out to the circle rather quickly. Again, she brings everybody in, just trying to settle everyone down. But
well, when you see Coach Holly, who is usually pretty low-key, pretty calm, march out there with serious pace, you know she's not happy.
yeah, she wasn't just strolling
No,
out there.
that was a march.
Well, and again, this is what you want to do when you come in as a new coach. Communication is so important in all the sports, especially in softball, with the timing and how everybody has to work together, and that comes with time. And you can teach them.
She's still marching off the field.
Yeah, she's still at a fast pace. Great hire by the Cardinals, too. I've mentioned that a couple of times. And actually, both of these programs under great direction right now. Now Turan steps in. And
Syracuse has, wow. Syracuse has to be feeling good right now. They've got Tehran and Hansen up. Second and third in their lineup. Tehran hasn't had much luck today.
No, and she jumped on that pitch.
But boy, did she crack that ball just then.
Yeah, she was trying to get an extra base job down the left field line. Said it's a strike on a foul. Low and inside. Well, the Syracuse bench up on the top level looking out, as is most of the Louisville players too. This is time of the game. It's scheduled for 7 innings, and you want to at least hold your opponent to nothing in the top of the inning, already up earlier in the game and now tied at 1. It's another foul.
Danielle continues to paint that inside corner to Tehran, who continues to turn on it and sending it into the dugout twice at the Louisville bench.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 runners on for Syracuse. And a 1-1 game, fouled right back to the screen.
Thought she'd switch it up there with a high and outside.
And I think Tehran just wanted to get rid of it. She saw it coming and maybe didn't guess correctly, but she was not going to take it at 1 and 2. There, the pensive look on Watson, and the pitch. That's down low. That evens the count at 2 and 2. I'll say one thing for the Syracuse hitters, batters, they have a good eye at the plate. They don't swing at many bad pitches.
Well, and that's a key adjustment that their hitters have made, because Danielle is pretty aggressive early, you know, going after the batters.
Here's a line shot in the right center field. A run scores as the throw comes into the first baseman. That was a big, big hit by Tehran as she takes it into right center field. And that scores the run.
So balanced. Head right on the ball, makes solid contact into right center here for an RBI to put Syracuse on the board 2-1.
And now you still got runners on the corners with 2 outs and the run in.
And not who you want up to bat.
Yep, Hansen swings on the first pitch and doesn't connect. She singled in the first, doubled in the fourth, and walked in the 6th. So 2 for 2 today, and her average up above 300 again at 310. And that pitch up high. Man, oh man, what an at-bat by Tehran. And then go back to that big defensive play she made that stopped the early inning threat for Louisville. In the top of the inning, or bottom of the inning, Nesson's fouled straight back. Now 131 pitches from the Cardinal right-hander.
A lot of those coming in this inning.
Yep. That one down low. Nobody throwing in either pen right now. It's all quiet.
Yeah, they pulled Taylor Roby from the Cards bullpen. I'm actually surprised they haven't put her back in. They're hopeful that Danielle can finish this
Here's
inning.
a little squibber, a tough one, out of the circle, making the play and getting the out. But Syracuse takes the lead in the middle of the 7th. Syracuse. Well, let's take a hop around the ACC in softball today. You see Pitt and Duke in the bottom of the sixth, tied at 3. Virginia final beats Georgia Tech 7-1. Shutout for Florida State over Notre Dame, 5-zip. Virginia Tech over NC State, 1-0. And North Carolina leading 5-0 over BC in the bottom of the fourth inning. So that's how things have matched up in the weekend here, with a couple still to decide, including this one. But one thing we know for sure, partner, Louisville needs a run to keep this game going.
It is do or die here for the Cards. They have to get a run here to keep their perfect home season intact.
And a taken strike from Romero to Maddie Newman rather. Maddie has flied out twice. And Louisville needs a base runner.
You saw Maddie show bunt there. Quick on the bases.
That pitch up high. Romero, by the way, trying to pick up her 5th win against 4 losses, including the one on Friday. As you look inside the Louisville dugout, now back at home plate to Newman. And Romero trying to give her team a win in 3 tries this weekend. That's high. Still got a lot of pop in that fastball.
Crucial for Maddie Newman. Just basic base hit, get on base, bring the top of the batting order up for the Cards.
Yep, Funky and Melton to follow. Here's a slow roller into center field for a hit. So Maddie Newman does her job, going with the pitch, and delivers the hit, and now aboard with nobody out.
Maddie Newman needed this to redeem herself after dropping that ball at the force out, playing in the defense at second base. You can see she was fired up talking with Coach Ashley Lane at first base.
Now the top of the order, and Celine Funky. Celine today has flied to left twice, 2nd and 4th innings. Looking for a big hit here, tries to put the bunt down, and it's a call strike.
The squeeze was on.
Yep.
When Celine goes up to bunt, she almost hops when she goes to bunt it. She needs to stay more balanced, and I understand as a slapper you're moving, but to stay balanced is imperative.
Here she swings and misses on a pitch, swung right through it. I tell you, we mentioned it. Romero is just as strong late in the innings as she is early, if not stronger.
Well, Romero is doing a great job keeping it out of Funky's inside, the inside pitch, because that's the one that Funky loves to pull. You see another ball high and outside. Funky is unable to pull that.
Just fouled it off, you're right.
She got 2 of those on Friday, inside pitches, and we're able to drive both of those into right center field for triples both times.
Romero checks that pitching card. Now she toes the pitching rubber in the circle. And the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Runner goes, and safe at second.
Great slide there to stay almost on the outside of the base path by Maddie Newman. It was able to slide head first, kind of reach out with her left hand to touch second base.
So now you got the tying run at second base, and Sydney Melton. Sydney 1 for 3 today. Singled her last time up in the 5th. Prior to that, in the 3rd, she popped out and then grounded out back in the 1st inning. Runs up on this one and takes a pitch a little bit high, maybe away.
We'll see if Sid can get another big clutch hit. She got a great double on Friday against Romero. Base clearing to score 3 RBIs to win the game 4-2 for the Cards.
Syracuse leads it 2-1 here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, scheduled for 7. And that one's low, 2-0 the count. Romero over to the dugout now, going through the pitching card, and again looking in as you watch from center field, and delivers the 2-0 pitch. That's down low. 3-0 the count. Well, it looks like, at least at this point, Coach Depking is going to sink or swim with Romero. And walks her on 4 pitches. Now you got runners at first and second. And Hensley will be the hitter. Hensley 0 for 3 today. A strikeout, a pop out, and a foul out, swinging on the first pitch back in the 5th.
We'll see
on
if
a hit and run play.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll see if the hit and run for sac fly is on again this time.
But time called as everybody's going to get in the circle. And now they'll break up that conversation. Well, you might know it would come down to the bottom half of the 7th inning. 2 balls, no strikes to count on Hensley. Romero wants in the worst way to shut things down and give her team a 2-1 win in a game out of the 3, but we're far from that yet. And Hensley taking all the way for a strike, 2-1.
Well, and Hensley wants the exact opposite. She's 0 for 3 on the day, ready to get on base.
Newman down at second, Melton aboard at first. Hensley, right-handed batter in against the left-handed pitching Romero. That's outside, 3-1. Well, we're right down to the nitty-gritty of one team getting a sweep and the other one salvaging a win. That's kind of what we have right here with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. And that's high, and now the bases are loaded to Cardinals. Hensley draws the 4-pitch walk.
Well, and Romero at 118 pitches on the day. That's what, 239 on the weekend. She has got to be exhausted.
And we're going to have a visit to the circle as the Cardinals now have Newman at third, Melton at second, Hensley at first, and Ferguson, who's 0 for 2 today, scheduled up and waiting in the on-deck circle as this conversation. I'm sure it's all positive, trying to get a final out. Of course, what you would want, and it's never easy in softball, is to get a double play to win the game. But now they're going to stir things up on that meeting, and everybody will get back to their respective places.
All Ferguson has to do here is meet the ball, send it to the right-hand side of the field. And score Maddie Newman.
Now we're set. Ferguson in. Romero set. And her first pitch fouled right back to the screen. Marrero, 4th in career strikeouts, 8th career wins, 8th in career shutouts in her 3 years such far. Led the NCAA in strikeouts per game, 10.9 over her career, and that's pretty amazing. Here's the 0-1. Hit down the right field line and twisting foul and out of play. So you don't have some rookie with the softball in their hand right now.
Nope.
You've got a veteran player, and Caitlin Ferguson battling here with Syracuse leading 2-1 and a couple outs away from gaining at least a win in the series. There's a little nubber right up the middle. Touches the bag to throw to first. Safe.
Wow.
Wow, what a play.
Tying RBI there for Caitlin Ferguson. Acevedo coming off the bag at first base. They could have had a double play on this, as Tehran is so fast, she steps on the bag, but as you see, Acevedo not near the bag to make the play.
Wow, and the game is tied at 2. How quickly things happen. And we talked about that what you would really want is a double play to end the game, and they had that opportunity.
They had the opportunity, and they should have executed on it, but big mistake there by Acevedo at first base to come off that bag. The throw was on point right at the base, and Caitlin didn't look. She was watching her ball. Caitlin Ferguson wasn't charging to first base like she should have been. They had her.
Man, oh man, the small things in the game. Watch it again.
You can see it. See, Caitlin kind of watches her ball.
It's tailor-made, isn't it? Really, tailor-made for a double play.
I mean, Tehran made a wonderful play. Acevedo, a big mistake there for the Syracuse Orange.
This one fouled back to the screen. Of course, now the winning run on third base in Melton.
Well, now that Chung has re-entered the lineup, this is definitely the bat you would want between Chung and Cousineau up at the plate.
And that's another situation, partner. Well, that will not go as an error. I mean, it is an error mentally, but you can't anticipate that. Pop up off to the right, foul. Of course, now if you're Romero and Cuse, you just want to get a chance to go back to the plate again. After Louisville's able to tie the game, Louisville now has 6 hits to 5 for Syracuse, but the Cardinals also have committed 3 errors today.
Costly.
Chung in the pitch. That's up high. That'll be an uncontested stolen base for Ferguson. Her run is insignificant at this point. Because the Cardinals want to do here is get Melton in from third base and sweep the series. The pitch up high. Romero has thrown more softball pitches in Louisville than anybody around. I can guarantee you that over a 2-day period. Now the 2-ball, 2-strike, 2-out count. That's inside. It gets away.
Here comes Melton.
Oh, she was hit by the pitch evidently. Because Melton came in.
Umpire's calling it dead.
Yep. Of course, I guess you run and ask questions later, right?
Well, of course.
Big pitch here for Romero.
And you know Romero is feeling the pressure of Sid Melton. She knows that Sid Melton is right there on third and can get across the plate in a flash.
And that one fouled back again. A good at-bat by Chung, staying alive. Everybody on the edge of their seats as we see if we're going to go to an 8th inning or Cards will win it here. The pitch, that's upstairs.
Gosh, Chung is so calm and collected. I mean, with a 2-2 count, and she's just like, oh, I know that ball's going to be high. I don't even need to look at it. Just super centered.
That's a 7-pitch at bat, and that's when you know you got a great eye. Something's going to happen here on the 3-2. Popped up in shallow right field, and the catch made by Holmgren, and that will end the inning, but not before Louisville ties it at 2. Going a little extra inning action here for the Louisville Cardinals and the Syracuse Orange and ACC women's softball as we move to the top half of the 8th inning in a 2-2 tie. Syracuse trying to pick up a win out of the 3 games. Louisville looking for the sweep. Caceres Mayer will begin things for the Cuse. 0 for 3 today. You can see she struck out twice. Grounded out on the other at bat. Average under 300 at 297 now. Fouled back to the screen. 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors for Syracuse. Louisville 2 runs, 6 hits. They committed 3 errors, 2 on 1 play.
Yep.
That resulted in the first run for Syracuse in the game. That's a ball, 2-1. Well, these teams have worked since the offseason to get ready, and of course, the pre-conference season is complete now, and league play is what it's all about. This is hammered back into left field, and that's off the wall. And that'll be a stand-up double. First time, really, Caceres Mayer has really jumped on one in the series, and she hammers it.
That is the hardest ball that has been hit today in Ulmer Stadium. Just nice, solid hit all the way back to the fence over Riley Schindler's head.
And that's a great start for the Cuse. And she got every bit of that pitch. You're right.
She sure did.
Well, might have been bailed out on the first pitch swinging here, as McCulloch pops it up and taken care of at first base easily by Snyder. So now there's the leadoff double, but now the out.
You saw Danielle Watson. She hears Kira Snyder call for that ball and backs away from it. That was one thing that's happened twice now around Danielle Watson, is she's waiting for one of her infielders to call the ball off her. It should be her infielder's ball, but as a result, they haven't been vocal enough to call her off, and so she's continued to go after the ball. So there's been 2 dropped, miscommunicated balls. That was perfectly executed, though, by Kira Snyder.
Yep, and you're right. That came into play in a big-time way. A swing and a miss there, as Dossett went after one out of the strike zone. She is 0 for 3 today, a strikeout, a ground out, and a pop out. And that one upstairs as well.
Nice catch there by Chung.
Yeah, she had to get up in a hurry to get it. Watson now with 140 pitch count.
Wow.
Has struck out 11 and walked 4. Swing and a miss there.
Danielle started off very strong, continues to pitch well, but the fact that she's already 140 plus pitches in, it's definitely getting up there in the pitch count.
And the 2 runs given up, both unearned. That one down low. So the senior from Warsaw, Kentucky would like to go back to college and say, hey, we went home and got 1 win in my home state. She hammers this one deep back into left field, and that ball is off the screen. Making the turn and heading for the plate and scoring the run is Caceres Mayer. And what about Dossett? She just nailed that one off the wall to left field.
Well, and you could see Riley Schindler trying to read this ball, and Dossett didn't even swing all the way through that ball. But you see Riley Schindler look at it, and she didn't know if it was going to go over the fence or not. She struggled tracking, and
now Louisville's going to make a pitching change, as we're going to see Roby, as we're in the top of the 8th inning, and it's now a 3-2 Syracuse advantage.
Boy, what a hit there by Dossett to come in. Again, as you said, her home state. And man, if she can secure that game winner RBI, wouldn't be too shabby to say that's what happened in my home state when I went home.
I'd say that would be pretty special. And we're going to see Roby. You see her number 8. She is the Louisville pitcher. We thought we might see her some today, and there you see the numbers for her. This will be her, not a start, but she's pitched in 44 innings, just under a 159 ERA, struck out 40 and walked 18. What else you got in the book on Roby?
Taylor comes in right now 5th in the ACC in her ERA. She's got 40 strikeouts and 44 innings of work, as you just said. She has plunked 6 batters so far this season, but has more control than Danielle Watson. Not nearly as much movement. You won't see as much spin from Taylor Roby, but you'll see her bring the heat.
And now her job is to shut the door, because Louisville now already trails again by a 3-2 count. And only 1 out here in the inning, and you still have a base runner and Dossett down at second, as Martin will come to the plate. So the Cuse not done trying to get more runs, and they line this one right back up the middle. Going to send the runner. Here's the throw to the plate, not in time. And going down to second on the play is Martin. Well, I tell you what, Roby was greeted with one right back up the chute.
Welcome to the circle, Taylor Roby.
Wow. And there was no hesitation either. The throw was well up third base line to the plate.
And Funky just off on her throw. Chung had to come 8 to 10 feet away from the plate to come field that throw.
Acevedo comes to the plate now and takes a strike.
Now, Taylor Roby does have 2 saves on the season, so we'll see if she's able to pull out her third.
4-2. That's the score we had on Friday when Louisville got the win against Romero. But you got to give the Cuse credit, man. They've had a couple of opportunities that could have put the game away in the 7th inning.
Making work of Riley Schindler in left field for sure.
Mm-hmm. And if you're the coaching staff, where they could have ended the game with that double play had the first baseman stayed on the bag, but that shows how resilient you can be, and give the Cuse credit. Came right back. They're going to get a double play here to win the
Great
line.
Fielder by Taylor Roby.
Well, the Louisville Cardinals trail 4-2, 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Cuse. 2, 6, and 3 for Louisville today, as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning, and Lexi Romero trying to close things down and pick up the win for her team, and that would be her 5th in 9 decisions. And Taylor Roby was at the plate and will be starting things here. Single twice and a ground out. 2 for 3 today as a hitter for the freshman. And then a good eye takes this one outside. 1-1 the count.
Syracuse making some huge hits in the top of the 8th there to take them up 4-2.
Yeah, they've out-hit Louisville now 8-6. That's the first time that's helped in the series for the Cuse to out-hit Louisville. Of course, again, early in the game, the first 2 runs were unearned due to errors. Not since then. It's a solid 4-2 lead.
Definitely something that Coach Holly this week in practice will hone in on. Discipline with the defense is going to be critical as they move further and further into ACC play.
Yeah. Got to go to Notre Dame on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Never easy to win there, and they're a team that loves to keep that home field advantage.
Well, and you give up 3, 5 errors to Notre Dame, you are going to get walloped.
Yeah, they do not beat themselves. That's why they've been so steady. This one a foul off to the right, out of play, just beyond the cutter center. Well, you can see Romero looking down at that pitching hand. She's playing with a really bothersome blister, but she's gone way beyond the call of duty in this series and trying to take a win home for her teammates to Syracuse.
Yeah, over almost 260 pitches on the weekend.
Hey, what'd you do over the weekend? Well, I threw 260 pitches. Did what? She's a gamer. We told you that the other day. That's why she is in the record books for the Syracuse Orange. Another foul off to the right by Roby, staying alive. You got the rally fingers going from Hensley down in the dugout. Tell me they're not superstitions in these sports.
Yes, I think baseball and softball are the 2 most notorious sports for
top of the list. Yep, that's
superstitions
high.
And
pretty good at bat for Roby here, though, partner. Worked it to full now.
I see her take a deep breath, center herself. Got to go up to the plate, relaxed, clear-headed.
And here comes the bull, Romero, with the pitch. Swing and a miss. Look at that
big strikeout there for Romero.
And she gave the big yell.
Up.
Did you see that big yell at the end of that?
She is fired up.
How about that? Big strikeout there, and the first out of the inning. Now, one thing for sure, every time Syracuse takes the field, if you've got Romero in the circle, you know you're going to get the best effort every time she's out there. It gives you a pretty good chance of winning, as she's proven here. Kira Snyder now. Kira's been hit by a pitch, struck out, and flied out. So 0 for 2 with an on base after the HBP. That's a strike, call it Denise.
You know, Don, one thing that we didn't talk about, based on that double play that Tehran should have made to Acevedo, Acevedo came off the bag at first base. Acevedo normally plays third.
Right.
Dawsett normally plays first. This is the first game of the series this weekend that they have flip-flopped and are on the opposite ends.
Probably a reason she couldn't find the bag then. That's one of the hardest things to do. I played a little bit in minor league or little league.
Minor league?
Minor league, little league.
There's a little bit of a difference between minor league and little league, Don.
But it's a minor league, little league. See, that means it was way down there.
Oh, stop.
But I did learn that if you're at first base, you got to learn, keep the feet on the bag, and you have different footwork you need to do.
Yeah.
3-1 the count on Snyder. That one fouled away. And what Romero doesn't want is base runners. So just give me the ball, let me put it in play, get a strikeout, or see if my defense can play behind me. I bet she'll be glad to rest that blister on her left hand, though. Good thing she has till Friday, till she may have to pitch again. 3-2. Just did miss the outside corner. Wow, and Romero wanted that one.
Good eye there by Snyder. I don't know if I could have laid off that pitch.
That was almost
Very
right there.
close. We'll have a pinch runner here. Charlie Butler will come out for Kira Snyder. Is this Cassidy Greenwood? Yep. Cassidy Greenwood has seen some great success at the plate.
There you see Butler, the runner, and now Greenwood will be the pinch hitter. Charlie with great speed and
Charlie
part-time
is
starter.
100% here at 5 for 5 on stolen bases and attempts. I wouldn't be surprised if we see her down at second base after this first pitch. Cassidy Greenwood coming in yesterday in a clutch, not a clutch situation, but able to come in and execute the sac fly very well. Hit the ball for yards to left fielder Tony Martin to bring in an RBI yesterday.
And she takes a strike at the knees. Freshman from Birmingham, Alabama, Oak Mountain High School. Psychology major. And those are her seasonal numbers. One strike pitch, swing and a miss, runner goes, here's the throw.
Charlie.
And Butler gets the steal as the throw to was the first base side of second.
Good backup there by Tehran. Again, she's always involved in any play on the right-hand side. If that ball had squeaked past her, Charlie Butler was going to be at third.
152nd pitch on the way from
Gosh.
Romero. That's today. This one fouled off to the left out of play. So the pinch hitter, Greenwood, stays alive. The pinch runner, Butler, down at second base now. 4-2 Syracuse.
Louisville looking to keep their perfect home record alive.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. So Greenwood goes down with the strikeout. Now there's 2 outs in the inning, and Romero can smell this one now. You can see her just directing traffic to everybody out there. Who's the leader? What do you think? Right
Again,
there.
Yes. Vocal leader, energy leader. Leader again across the board. You know, Louisville has a couple of different leaders on their team. Celine Funky being the most vocal. But you look at Sid Melton, who's kind of one of the quiet leaders. She leads more by example than by her voice. But Romero embodies all of it.
Newman has flied out twice, singled and scored a run. That single and run scored was her last time up in the 7th. She bounces this one towards short. There'll be no play. Newman, who scoots down the line. That'll probably be an infield single. There's no way you're going to get her even under the best of conditions. It is going to be the Louisville's 7th hit.
Great base hit there by Maddie Newman to get on base. And now we've got our national leader in triples up to bat.
Celine Funky. Funky 1 for 3 today with a walk and takes a pitch up high. She walked in the first, flied out in the third, singled and scored a run in the 5th, and then caught looking in the 7th. Still batting a 400. Louisville down by 2. The winning run at the plate, the tying run on the base paths. And right now, Romero is going to get a visit from the dugout, falling behind 2-0.
When you talk about 2 hard-nosed players, Real champions want the ball or want to be up at bat in these kinds of situations. So, of course, Romero wants the ball in her hands as the pitcher. Funky wants to be the hero here and has the ability. Big at bat here.
So you see that intense conversation. Of course, Coach Depking, one of the greatest catchers ever at the University of Tennessee.
Played some pro ball.
Yep. Lefty against lefty. 2 out, 2 on. A 2-run lead for Syracuse to try to leave the Derby City with a win.
Romero has consistently been hitting the outside corner here for Funky and continues to do so.
Gets a call strike there. Well, this is down to the nitty-gritty, and the junior from Syracuse, one of the record holders, trying to get out of here with a big-time win. Line shot, going to be right at the second baseman, and that'll take care of it as Tehran makes the catch to win the game and get out of the threat. So a big, big win for Syracuse as they pick up 1 out of the 3-game series. So we want to thank our crew. I'd like to thank my teammate Suzanne Bush. I'm Don Russell saying so long from Homer Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky, where the final score was Syracuse 4 and Louisville 2. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on the ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. Thanks everybody for watching. This has been a presentation of the ACC Network Extra.